Good morning, everybody. I hope you're well on this post 9/11 day. Let us never forget that awful, awful day of 9/11, 2001. But that's not what this is about. Look, I don't know Darwin Bond Graham at all. I don't even know or care what he looks like. But the person who started off gaining attention in Oakland for constant his pieces in first East Bay Express and then Oaklandside on black public officials or politicos came on my radar because he questioned if I was paid to work for my longtime friend Phil Tagami. Now I have a media company. I was in A62 Media Incorporated, and my feeling was, why do I have to explain to all people, right? This dude on Twitter, who I'm told is white, who seems to think that because I'm black, I have to be paid to help anyone via online web work, let alone someone I have known since 1991. But in his case, Darwin Bond Graham is not a programmer, so he assumes that I am paid to say something and not even consider that I help many people without pay, including a number of sports journalists like Glenn Dickey from a few years ago, and gain an online presence via platform creation. No, he takes that line that I have to be someone's puppet, an extension of slave mentality. So I looked around. I mean, I'm too busy to get into the deep on him, and I really don't care. And I realized that Darwin Bond Graham is the latest in a sad and long line of white male journalists who use their status as some sort of badge of honor to do character assassinations of people, mostly black men. And the only way anyone black could hope to get a job in Bay Area and print journalism was to do the same thing: attack black men in politics and government. All this feeds the sad racist desire to make black men look bad in Oakland and the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, for me, the episode in Darwin Von Graham's record that got me triggered was his Oaklandside based attack on Derek Johnson, the Oakland business owner who ran against my friend, Oakland Councilmember Rebecca Kaplan. Anyway, Darwin got after Derek for, of all things, saying that he was a successful businessman just because his business filed for bankruptcy. Now think about that, okay? Think about that. Because now look at former President Donald Trump. Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy not once, but 6 times. Yet Trump is called successful. Okay. So why does Derek Johnson have to be called unsuccessful? In other words, Trump, white, can call himself successful and have his business, not himself, file for bankruptcy 6 times. But Derek Johnson can't have his business file for bankruptcy, even white or let alone himself, because he's black. And then call himself successful. That's white supremacy. So I'd forgotten about all of that until Darwin did it again. Again. By some tip he got that Seneca Scott, who was running for mayor of Oakland, was arrested for brandishing a gun last year. Well, Seneca had a reason for doing so, from what I understand. And at a time, I'm not a gun owner. And at a time when Oakland is so dangerous that a number of people carry guns to protect themselves because, well, the Oakland police never show up. But that reason was just tossed aside. Doesn't fit his narrative, right? The headline was that Seneca Scott, Oakland mayoral candidate, whose name is at the top of the election ballot, by the way, was arrested. Well, newsflash, folks. Cat Brooks, who I love, who ran for mayor of Oakland in 2018, and who I wish would have ran again this time, because I would have supported her with bells on my toes, was also arrested in the past and for reasons I support. Namely, the call for stopping the Oakland police from terrorizing black men. So I wondered how far back Darwin's attacks on black men in politics and government went. And so I found this from 2012. Darwin Bond Graham, he's a contributor to, this is the book's title, folks, Hopeless: Barack Obama and the Politics of Illusion. To this longtime Obama supporter and early Obama supporter in Oakland, back 2006, That did not make me happy, to say the least. And that was at that point I saw the words that Mr. Graham's called a sociologist and not a journalist. The book Hopeless: Barack Obama and the Politics of Illusion was written by a number of left writers, mostly white by far, because they bought the white liberal Kool-Aid that was popular at the time. Because Block's black, he will automatically push for their agenda rather than shockers, a more middle ground agenda. In other words, how dare this black man take on the look of a white man in power was the basic message. And in the list of writers, I saw Darwin Bond Graham. What did he write? Obama's nuclear weapons surge. And this is how it starts off. This is what he wrote. As with many aspects of the Obama presidency, expectations for dramatic change, and I stopped right there. So let's stop right there. Okay? Let's stop right there. Damn it. For me, as a black man, the dramatic change was in the large numbers of black professionals who finally got their shot at a great job in, of all places, the White House. The White House, built by slaves, considered completely off limits to us, unless, of course, we were a butler. The White House, and working for America's first black president of the United States, POTUS. The photo I saw of Obama black employees in a line, checking text messages on the phone, making calls. In other words, symbols of professional power using digital communication, right? It made me cry. Tears of joy. All of that completely escaped white male sociologist Darwin Bond Graham and those who wrote Hopeless: Barack Obama and the Politics of Illusion, using words like sellout to describe President Obama. Folks, Barack Obama is not a sellout. And I don't care if Cornel West said the same thing. I personally went to Mr. West and expressed my displeasure with his point of view. And I've met Mr. West. I like Cornel. I like the brother a lot. He was completely wrong. He bought the white male liberal Kool-Aid. All right. He really did. Anyway, sorry, so I get mad all over again. Folks, anyway, all this completely escaped Graham and all those who wrote, particularly the white liberal ideology, that Barack Obama was kind of some kind of sellout. Folks, Barack Obama is not a sellout. No one who dares to run for president of the United States and is black is a sellout. Blacks in power is what people like Darwin fear. He expresses it in the awful guise of journalism. Stay tuned. Now, let me go on and say something else beyond what I wrote in my text, my prepared text. Look, these constant attacks are concerning. Okay. There is nothing, and for a publication to basically pay and rubber stamp this sort of thing is ridiculous. If you call yourself a journalist, if you call yourself a publication that does journalism, I'm not a journalist. I am a blogger. I'm a person who tells you where he's coming from. I'm not, some choir boy out there trying to pretend like I'm good for both sides and all of this. You know where I'm coming from. Like me or don't, like my point of view or don't, there is no guesswork about where I'm coming from. When I'm happy about something, you know it. You know why. When I'm pissed off about something like now, you know it and you know why. To use a platform of feign objectivism, using information about people that person believes is going to be considered negative about them, character assassination, is garbage, 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 and it's wrong and it's evil. And for those of you who think that's journalism, you need to have your head examined and find the goodness in your heart, because you have none. mean, if the only reason you read something about government is to find something negative about a black person, because let's face it, if I said the same thing about Donald Trump as was said about Derek Johnson, I'll be tarred and feathered and called ridiculous. Yet just because Derek filed for bankruptcy, he couldn't say, his business rather, he couldn't say, I'm successful, or describe himself as a successful business person. But Donald Trump can. He filed for bankruptcy 6 times. His businesses did 6 times. Okay? No. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right? I can name a list of white men between the ages of 22 and 35 in Oakland, going back decades, to the 90s, who felt that this sort of, journalism was A-okay to do. And they what they do is they scare people like Derek. Okay? They scare other black folks who feel like they have to, toe the line, not let their heads stick up, not do anything that would express the idea that they want power. They want to be in charge. That they understand how to pull the levers of government. Oh no, don't do that. That's what their fear is. That's, the white man doesn't want it. And that's what Darwin says when he puts this shit out there. Okay? It's ridiculous. And it should stop. Not right. At all. Not right. You want to focus on government? Focus on government policy. See, stuff like this happens when you have people who don't understand how to do math in government, financial mathematics. Like I know tax increment financing, present value calculation, spreadsheets, real estate investment analysis, all of that. You don't know that stuff. You can't bring anything to the table. True data analysis, all right? You don't know how to tell a person what the impact is going to be of a set number of housing units at a certain price, at a certain level of construction cost, with a level of average rent for that housing, and then calculate what the subsidy should be to make those units affordable and then extraordinarily affordable. If you don't know any of that, then what good are you? Really? You just reduce yourself to doing what these folks have done for decades, attacking black people and then saying that they're journalists when in point of fact, they're not journalists. And I'm not a journalist. What I'm tired of is people who say that they're journalists doing this sort of thing. And you start looking at their backgrounds and realizing, even when they're trained journalists, that they don't even follow a true line of objectivism. You want to know why? Because it's impossible. It is impossible to be objective. Your value structure directs what you say and what you write about. And what's sadder still is you have African Americans who believe that that is the way of doing journalism, to attack someone else who's black. They're inculcated with this white supremacist mentality. This must stop. That's all. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. Thank you. That is this broadcast. I'll be back later to talk more about Howard Terminal. I got more information, folks. Tons of it.